Hello farmers, welcome back. Alright, so just moved forward to April the 3rd, but nothing changed because it's still the same month, obviously. Alright, so we're going to work on windowing today. Do want to check one thing. Oh shoot, wrong button. Where is it actually? Alright. I'm trying to decide on whether to. I want to see if grass 43 hay. Alright, hay does pay a little bit better. We just don't know if it's worth. Hold on one second, guys. Let me do something. I should have did this probably before I started recording, but alright. I save because I have a problem sometimes when I go into the store that my game likes to crash. I don't know what's going on. I've tried to figure it out, but I do have a crap ton of mods downloaded, so I don't know if that's it or not. But I want to see if it's worth tedding the land first so we can I want to see if this will do straw, grass, or hay. Okay, yeah, it does do hay. I just wanted to make sure. How much is our cheapest tedder? Trying to decide if we should TED first for $1,200. How long is that going to take to pay for itself? I don't know. We do need a tedder eventually. I would like to get a bigger one, obviously, because I don't want to spend all day. That's 3. That's 2. That's $500. I think if for $500 it might be worth our time. I would love to have this one, but what happens if you buy both? When you connect these together, I don't know. I think we're going to go ahead and so I'm wondering if you get the rear attacher, if you can hook another one to it. I don't know. Alright, we're going to go ahead and go pick this up at the store real quick. I'm going to drop that. So, whoops. I'll probably just bring you guys back when we're over at the store. Alright, everyone. everyone, we're back. I went ahead and got this. I thought I hit the record button already, but apparently I didn't. Apologize. But I'm really confused right now because this looks like it's a window and a tether, if I'm not mistaken. Which wouldn't be so bad as having the tether and then row it up. So, yes, this is a lot smaller than our current window, but obviously I can't sell my window, which would be nice because we're still going to have times when we have to row up grass or we have to, and we want just grass bales. But I'm going to go ahead and do this round, see what happens. It looks like hay pays a lot more, as you saw I was looking earlier, so definitely think it's hopefully going to be worth it because, oh crap, I'm screwing this all up. I still might have to come in here and row this up because so I'm hoping this makes us this investment of $500 gives us a lot more money. Also, if you notice the slight money change by a few dollars, apparently when I was making the map, I did the store delivery mod thing to obviously change it over here when I was building my farm, because if you remember, if you guys haven't watched the first couple episodes I talked about, there was a previous structure here, farm and everything, where all that over there is. I tore it all down, or deleted it, or whatever you want to call it, and built my own little farm there for us to start on to make the, I just thought it would make it a little bit more interesting if I just started with, the small camper, kind of a crappy building to keep my stuff in, and obviously giving us something to work towards. Well, apparently I thought I defaulted the store delivery back to where it was, but in reality what I did was I moved it right next to where our store already was. So that's why we were getting the extra charges when we bought equipment. That's why we were getting the $5 a day that we were losing. That I was kind of editing when I skipped the days, but I think I figured out where the money was going. I talked about it in an earlier episode that something didn't seem right where we're getting the extra charges when we bought equipment and stuff, and we shouldn't have been. So I give us our couple dollars back that we lost when we bought this, because it was like $500 and some odd dollars, because we got charged the delivery fee that I was seeing up in the corner. I couldn't figure out why we were getting charged delivery fee, but it was still at the store, so that's what it was. So I fixed that problem we've been having since the very first episode, which I've lost some money over time. I don't know how much, so that's why I just did what I did. I just give us like an extra, no, it wasn't even $20. It was like an extra $17 back. But for this equipment. But we're just going to have to chalk up what we've lost in the last few episodes buying equipment. So, but we shouldn't have that problem anymore, getting the extra charges and stuff, so that'll be nice. So I'm going to go ahead and do us a time lapse. And we're going to ted all this up, and I'll bring you guys back when we're done and we're getting ready to get the baler out. Or not bring you guys back, I'm sorry. I'll be back. You're just going to do a time lapse. You see, I brought the baler over here about, I don't know, partial way through, and I was just making sure it was hay because it looked more green on my screen than it should have, so just wanted to be sure. So we're going to go ahead and get this baled up. I want to see what kind of numbers we get. Still forget how to use this freaking thing. As many times as I've done it, you think I know. So I'm hoping for some decent numbers. I mean, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head what it looks like we're going to get. I reset the bale counter there. You can see on top of the screen. So this one right here makes 2 because obviously we already made that one to make sure it was hay. But I'm try to get as much as this as possible. But I don't think I'm going to get all of it. But I can't remember how many we got out of this field last time. I know we got 70 something out of the first field over there, the big one that we just replanted. We just planted wheat in. I would like to see at least, like, I don't know, 50, because this is going to basically, it's going to tell us. Our goal is to get what do we need? $7,000-8,000 for the silage pit and the trailer to pick up the grass with, so we can do, you know, dumping in the silage. We also need money for a harvester yet. We haven't bought that. I think that's $1,500. So I'm hoping once we get the silage pit done that we can start looking for a bigger tractor. We may get it out of the used store. I do have the used mod on. It does crash sometimes when I go in there, so I'm going to have to make sure I save it before we go in there and look around and when we do buy it. But we're going to have little spots we're going to have to pick up afterwards, I guess. It does look like we're getting more than we did out of our last harvest in this field, that's for sure. So if we get 50 to 60, I'll be tickled. Anything more than that, it's just more icing on the cake, as they say, I guess, right? But I guess I'm going to do another time lapse here for you guys. And put some music on, and I guess I'll join you back when we see how many we got. Alright, everyone. Looks like we're going to get about 64 bales out of this harvest. Which I'm pretty happy about, to be honest. I think if I get another fertilizer, like a liquid fertilizer down the road, when we have a little bit of extra money, I'm pretty sure I could get at least 75 probably out of this field with these. But obviously we're going to be in a oh, sorry. Obviously we're going to be into hopefully a bigger baler by then, but I don't know what it would equal to in this field with the bigger baler. But of course, eventually when we get animals and stuff, this will probably all be grass. I'll say all the way up. That small wheat field that we have over in the corner will probably turn into grass, and even over there. Because once we get the bigger farm equipment, my next objective is going to be to buy these couple fields here. And this will turn into a big yard, but that's way down the road. But we got to have dreams, right? It's going to be a heck of a challenge on this hard difficulty, that's for sure. We just got to figure out what makes more money. That's why my sights is on silage right now. I know it's with FS22, it was probably overplayed a lot, but it is where all the money is right now. For us, it's our cheapest option to make the most money, if that makes sense. So. And then we'll get into better crops and stuff. Alright, so right now what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go ahead and get everything loaded up as far as the truck, the trailer, and you see I have 64 bales to sell. And what I'll probably do is either do a time lapse or skip ahead. The loud truck again. Everybody loves the loud truck, right? Yeah, this thing is. If you don't remember in the last video, I think it was, I said about possibly getting rid of this truck just because of the noise. I love the looks of it. I love the old square body look, but man, the noise on this thing is next level. So I wish I knew how to go in and edit files so that I turn the noise down or change it or something. Yeah, you guys have seen me load this thing up enough. What I'll probably do is, like I said, just do a time lapse here. This video might be a little longer. So if I do wind up editing it out, you'll know, because it'll be to the point where we're just at the store, and of course I'll show you how much we make there, but see the difference in hay versus grass. So as we're going to make more money out of hay, we where is it? Prices? There it is. hay is, I mean, we're not at the top of the thing by any means, but 54 a bale. We'd be selling grass for 43 a bale, so or whatever it is. I don't know if that's a bale or what it is, but I mean, it's a little bit better. What I'm thinking about getting into is wheat will be nice. We should be selling some of it within the next month or so, but unfortunately it's going to be low. But we just can't afford to hold on to anything right now. Eventually, of course, I'd like to get a silo and wait till stuff is in high demand, like December, January, and sell everything. But we just can't afford to do that right now by any means. So, if you have noticed, I do have seasons and stuff. I do not have that on. Just because it's enough now with what we're trying to do. I didn't want to put that on because then we have a whole nother line of crap to deal with. So. Probably be, I'm going to shoot for 2 loads, but I don't know. It might wind up being more. Just depends on how lazy I get by loading these up. If you guys have watched any of my previous episodes, you know that usually don't go too well. I've been trying to stack them all nice and neat like this, and then... Alright, that's enough. Alright, everyone. I went into settings there if you didn't notice. I turned the vehicle volume down for you. Hopefully it's not as bad. I just don't like to leave it down because when we go to a tractor or something, then you can't hear nothing. But I guess when I go on long trips in the truck, I'm just going to have to do that. I just realized I went the wrong way too. So. Anyway, we're going to get this stuff over to the store. I did try to pile up on the truck, as you can see, but it started glitching, and even though I wasn't touching the other bales, they're starting to fall off, so I just went ahead and strapped it down and called it quits. I'm really hoping to get a decent amount of money out of this load. But, you know, I know it's not going to be like freaking $6 grand or anything, but what the just happened? I didn't mean to hit that button. I'm looking at the seat like, hey, watch where you're going, butthole. You know that's not what we would say in real life. While I'm driving on the wrong side of the road, it's perfectly acceptable. Just like the morning commute to work. Always get behind a school bus. We're going to pass them. We're going to pass them. And then we're going to pull off in front of them. I think I went to the right side. Yeah, I went to the right side. Yeah. I don't know how much better or worse that is, but the good news is we do have a little bit more back there, so it'd be nice to get to like 6,500 maybe at least. I'm hoping. I was hoping to see 7 when we were done, but because that's enough we can buy our silage stuff. Now I'm not going to buy it right now because we still have to harvest the wheat field, which is probably going to be coming up in the next episode, I'm hoping. So we are going to have to go buy our machine for that. I do not know if that machine is going to unload into this. I hope it does. I know it's not like a crap ton of stuff we can put in there, but for right now, until we maybe get our first, we'll see how much money we have. I want to find a bigger trailer, obviously, but I don't know how we're going to, I don't know how that little hand machine works for unloading and stuff, so I don't know what trailers we can and can't use to unload it. I don't know. Yes, I just don't know what we can and can't do with that little hand machine. We're going to have to experiment with it. So I want to save a little bit of money back just in case we have to wind up looking for another cheap trailer or something just to haul stuff in. I'm hoping I can get the rest of these bales just on the truck, but I don't know how many more we have here. I have a little bit more than I realized, to be honest. We're going to unload the trailer first. Pull the truck up here about middle ways. And go ahead and load up again. I'll do another little quick time lapse. Here's our second and last load. As you've seen in the thing there, I thought I could get them all in the truck, but obviously that didn't work. Which I guess is a good thing in the end. We're going to see how much we wind up with. I would love to see 7,000 and then a day, but I don't think that's going to happen because the last load was 1,800, I believe, around there. Of course, we don't have anywhere close to those bales. I mean, I don't know. I mean, 1160 is what we would need, roughly. 1157, obviously, but I guess we shall see when we get there. I am kind of curious to see what we're going to get after we do the field, the wheat field. Obviously, we're going to sell the grain because we don't have enough use for it right now. Later on, maybe, but and we're going to bale. As long as I think that little hand machine lets us do that. We're going to bale what's left and sell that. So that should give us a decent amount. And then, like I said, my goal is to have enough by the time we do all that to start the silage pit and buy the trailer for the silage. So, or buy the trailer to pick up the grass. We're slowly progressing. So it's very slow. That's what the hard difficulty is all about. I've said that before. People seem to like that. So. Oh, so close. Oh, one more bale would have did it. Wow. $17 away. I guess I can't complain too much. That's close. Oh, that person just disappeared. They just freaking disappeared. But I took the poll, and it seems like everybody said leave it on hard. So, well, the few people that commented said leave it on hard difficulty. I've never really, out of all the farming simulator I've played, I've never really done a hard difficulty challenge. So it's definitely new, and it's fun. Of course, in other ways, it's like repetitive because you're doing bales over in bales, more bales, and then after all that, a little bit more bales. But that will hopefully. I mean, obviously, we're always going to have to do bales because we're going to have animals and shit, but it just won't get us repetitive. Hopefully, we'll have other things to do. So. But let me know about the greenhouses. I don't know if that was the last episode or this episode I asked that in. If you think the greenhouses are too OP. Obviously, I'll put a water source on the farm, so we'll just have to buy the little water tanker or some kind of little cheap water tanker to keep the greenhouses supplied. Hopefully by the time I see that in these episodes, we can make a decision on that, because maybe we can. I don't think that would be too far away. I mean, obviously it's money, but I think after we get maybe both these wheat fields harvested, we could look at getting greenhouses if everyone was okay with that. So we could put them right in here somewhere, something. I would like to figure out why the game won't let me put stuff farther back in here, but it won't, so. But anyway, once again, I know I say this a lot, thanks for the support. If you're new to watching this, please consider subscribing. Maybe share my video with some friends that would like Farming Simulator. Don't forget to like and comment. Try to answer every comment. It may not be right away. It may not even be the same day, but I do try to answer every comment. So let me know what you think. And I hope to see y'all in the next episode. Thanks again.